Welcome to our digital platform, Legal Research and Analysis. In this richly blessed land, which is like heaven on earth, Shillong, the capital city of State Meghalaya. Joining me today with me he is Mr. Lambokstar Marngar, the president of Khasi Student Union. So welcome, brother.
Okay, thank you.
Well, Lambok, we are aware that in the latest Khasi Student Union general election, you were elected as a president unopposed.
Yeah.
What was the reason? Is it because what I heard people say is, right now in the Meghalaya, if I ask any youth, any people to give their impression on the KSU, they say that KSU will not survive much more than this. We have seen a lot. Some says KSU have done a rampant of havoc of the anarchy in the state. So when we hear that Lambokstar Marngar was elected as a president of KSU unopposed, is it because that now the seats, the generation that needs to take up the KSU are not willing anymore? So you decided, okay, let me do it. Why is it Marngar?
See, this is my second term as the president of Khasi Student
Yeah, we are aware.
I feel that is our member from various unit, circle and district across the state of Meghalaya.
Okay.
They build to the confidence that trust that we need to carry forward this our movement with regard to the education and various issues of the state of Meghalaya.
Well, so what is KSU? What is Khasi Student Union exactly? What does Khasi Student Union stands for? What is its voice? There are two elements. First is in campus. Second is off campus. In campus means you deal with the interest of the education related issues with the students.
Yes.
Off campus, if I'm not wrong to say, it's politically much motivated. So don't you feel suddenly it's no more as initially it was. Initially it was moderate nexus between in campus and off campus, but as time grew and as time went on, now in 2021, in campus is like just a written text on the website of the KSU and in the bylaws of the KSU. But what we are seeing is KSU only on the streets, KSU only on the demands, KSU only on the protest. So now is KSU only driven by the off-campus issues and no more in-campus?
See, it doesn't mean that we are only forget about the in-campus or the off-campus issue. But this two issue is we carry this two issue forward for the betterment of the state of Meghalaya. We cannot forget, we cannot leave out the issue of the student. At the same time, we cannot just as to watch or as a watchdog what happened to the state of Meghalaya without resisting and without uprising to the state government with regard to the influx issue, with regard to so many issues. If you're talking about the border issue,
don't you think that if you feel there are so many issues in Meghalaya, let the government do it? Let students go brilliant in their studies. Why not government do it? Why KSU need to come in front of the government? Is KSU trying to overtake government now?
It doesn't mean that we feel that we are to overtake the state government, or we are we are more powerful than the government. We are the pressure group and to pressurize the state government to do this, to do that, yes, for the betterment of the state of Meghalaya.
So now you are saying that your greater interest is not only for student but beyond student, that is to hold loyalty and patriotism towards Meghalaya, right? Then why is not Meghalaya Student Union, just Khasi Student Union? Because I read some constitution of, I read the part of the constitution I was working through. I was very interested to know what is this body. So what basically I'm trying to trigger here is that the Khasi community is centric over here, centric. So you say Meghalaya, then why doesn't the doctrine, the bylaws and the constitution of Khasi Student Union works for the other community as well? Because Khasi is just one among the other several the indigenous community in the Meghalaya. So why not that? In the constitution, is it not at the very first glance, gives us the message that KSU is sub-communal. You are communal within your own community, isn't it? Or if it is the other way, you please make me clear with it.
See, if we said that, why don't make that the constitution turn to the
Meghalaya Union, and the constitution is all centric to Khasi.
It doesn't mean that when we raise about the influx issue, when we raise about the border issue, when we raise about the education issue, it doesn't mean that it's benefit only for the Khasi community.
That means
At the same time, it benefit for the Garo people also. It benefit for the non-Khasi who are living in the state of Meghalaya.
That means now do you think you need to change your constitution? You need to amend your constitution?
No. When we represent, when a case you step in, so for so many issues, it doesn't mean that we are anti-non-Khasi. But when we raise about, like I've talked to you before also, when we raise about the education also, when we raise about the employment also, it doesn't mean that this is benefit for the Khasi people. It's benefit for the genuine non-Khasi who are settled here in the state of Meghalaya also.
Prudence of law teaches us to fight for our fight and battle for our right. But at the same time, where there is a right, there enforces duty also, Lambo, which we should not forget. So while you are battling for your fight, while you are battling for your right, do you not feel at certain time Meghalaya didn't have that good sensitivity of carrying out that fight? You went on infringing the rights of the innocents too. Don't you think that? So do you think case you have ever or never infringed someone's rights while fighting for your own rights?
No. See, the small incident not only happened in the state of Meghalaya, may happen in Assam, may happen in Delhi, may happen in Bangalore.
But this doesn't give us excuse.
Bengal, may happen in
But
each and every state in the state of Meghalaya, in India. It doesn't mean that you recognize that they are anti-Khasi or anti-Northeast.
But Lambo, just because of the fact that other states, other countries, in the other corners of the world, such things are happening, that doesn't give us reason to justify our incidents over here, isn't it? Just because they are doing it, do it become justifiable?
Whenever we take a movement, any movement with regard to any issue, we take it in a democratic way.
But
Just to remind you, what happened last year in Chamati, we organized a peace public meeting in Chamati. Who attacked us?
who attacked you? Who attacked you?
Non-tribal, might be from Bangladesh.
Okay.
It doesn't mean that you recognize, you saw only when there is a clash between a small clash between non-Khasi and Khasi. You never point out what is the incident that the Khasi people have attacked by non-tribal.
Now you mentioned about Ichametri issue, and that was back to 20th February 2020.
Yes.
2020. So in Shala village, you know, at the end of the meeting organized to discuss CAA and ILP by the Khasi Student Unions, the violence erupted. But what happened again? Just a day after 20th February 2020, the retaliating attack was done, even in Meghalaya. Approximately 10 to 12 people, all non-tribals, were stabbed at Barabajar on the morning of 29 February 2020, and that is the 29 February was followed by 20th February incident in Ichamatri, okay? And among them, you know, in Barabajar, Rup Chand Devan, just a mere tomato seller, who was earning his, you know, like mere hundreds in a day, he was stabbed, and he was from Assam, Barpeta, and he died of the injury. So what? Even after the 28th, you mentioned about Ichametri, even 29, the case, they led in retaliation attack, isn't it?
All the member of the KSU, myself also, we are still there in Sora.
Yeah,
till
yes.
30.
Yes.
Till 29 evening, we are still there. So what happened in Shillong, we don't know what happened in Shillong.
So you are taking a clean sheet now?
No. We are not in the parts that we retaliate. We are not in the part to instruct anyone, to hamper anyone.
So you stand by it?
We don't know. What happened in Shillong, we don't know.
You talk about clean sheet. Until 30 you were over there in Chamitri site, you didn't know. But then Melajet Khongbu, who was the publicity secretary of the Khasi Student Union, Jayao Circle, okay, of them, and Laldin Nongkinri, a member of the Khasi Student Union, Maukar Circle, both were arrested for their alleged involvement in the aforesaid stabbing in the Barabajar in Shillong. The first arrested person, that is Melajat Khongbu, he confessed to have committed this crime. But then, now is it not self-contradictory? You say still on 30 you don't, till 30 you are in Chamatri, you didn't know about what was happening in Shillong, you didn't instruct anyone.
What happened wrote in the newspaper does not mean that it's called gospel truth.
But then police has arrested.
Let me complete. Whenever there is any incident across the state, sometimes we feel surprised that the policemen already come to conclusion that blaming that the pressure group has involved in these cases.
Now, my question is, Lambok, who killed Khasi members, Khasi Student Union members in Ichamatri? Those were not killed in Barabajar. Who were killed in Barabajar were your own non-tribal brothers, isn't it? Who were just mere tomato seller, but who was from Barpeta, Assam. His name was Rupchand Devan from Barpeta, Assam. Do he deserve to die in that way? See, and it's not. But then again, when we talk about KSU being involved again and again, it's not once, twice. It leads us to infinity. For instance, let me tell you one more incident. In fact, on February 24 night, this February of 2021, unknown miscreants barged into a room where 8 laborers working at a construction site belonging to St. Saviour's Girls' Hostel in Umoid. They were sleeping and suddenly, the laborers, they were sleeping in night, and the unknown attackers who barged into the room, they started attacking them. You are aware of the incident. On February 24 night, in the St. Saviour's Girls' Hostel, Umoid. Then, followed by that, on 26 February, 24, that was the incident of 24 night in Umoid. And on 26 February, what happened? Meghalaya police arrested 3 persons in connection with the attack in Umoid. Surprisingly, even I'm not happy to read this. They were identified as members of Khasi Student Unions. Police said there are some Samborlang Kharbani, if my pronunciation is good. Samborlang Kharbani, Khasi Student Union President of Diva Unit. Disparlen Kharbani and Dance Daniel Marthong, who is a former member of the union.
When about this incident, from the policemen jumped to the conclusion that these people involved by the case.
But the police
we are not aware, we are not instructed anyone to do
yes,
just some kind of thing to
I
attack
trust you.
someone.
I trust you. You might have never instructed the case. You might have not instructed. But time and again, every people who are being caught in the act are they eventually end up being from the KSU member. How is this coincidence going on again and again?
I don't know what is the
so should you start?
What is strategy that from the police department that always blaming that the case
Not Lambok, you are going on police.
What let me complete. What very sad to say that the incident in Gofling.
Yeah. Yes.
Now it's already 1 week past, but the police department cannot detect anyone.
On 21 October 2020, the posters were displayed throughout the public places by the Khasi Student Union. The banner read, "All Meghalaya Bengalis are Bangladeshi." Do you regret doing it or not?
No.
Yes or no? You don't regret?
No regret.
So, okay, you stand by it.
If that poster make that a very, very bad impact or negative impact, what happened is again the constitution when we demand the mechanism or demand the law to
but this is
protect
against
the
constitution. I will let me quote you.
Yeah.
Remember, Section 153A of the Indian Penal Code 1860 penalizes such act which try to create public mischief, whether written or spoken, which might incite communal disharmony. So, and still you do say you don't regret. On the face, I'm telling you, Lambok, this is a crime. See, if court start taking cognizance of this thing, it is a crime. FIR can be made, which was made against you, Lambok, isn't it? FIR was filed against you by a BJP leader in the Assam, if I'm not wrong, right? So,
I saw only newspaper.
One of the MLA from East Khasi Hill, he or she went on requesting the BJP leader to the cost the FIR. They went on requesting it. That means the FIR was
that
there.
also his capacity and his views and opinion. I cannot say anything.
Okay. So, KSU had in November 2020 warned of an intensified agitation if the center continued to ignore the demand of immediately implementing the ILP. Your statement came. You were speaking to one of the news media. I saw the video. You spoke. We are planning surprise protests in the days to come, and the center would be responsible if there is any breakdown in law and order in the state. So that means if center doesn't grant you ILP, you are going to create your own ILP in the state. That was the statement, if interpreted in a very layman term. So what makes you believe that you have the ability to build and your own ILP in this state? That is what my first question was. The prior question was, I asked you, where there is right, there enforce duty. You said at the expense of law and order. If center doesn't give us, we are ready to implement our own ILP. You said that means you are ultimately threatening the rule of law, isn't it? You are creating an anarchy. The president of Khasi Student Union, is it responsible on your part to do that? You are now warning the rule constitution. You are threatening the rule of law now.
See,
yes, my dear friend.
see, whenever we said that we will organize the surprise agitation, it is a part of our
Democratic protest. I understand.
We don't have any intention to create the law and the problem. If that law problem arise, we also don't have the responsibility.
It's not once, not twice. KSU starts with a democratic protest, KSU starts with a democratic body, KSU starts with a democratic constitution, but it is not very rare to see that the democratic protest ends eventually with a pelting of stone, assault to the public property, assault to the private property, the cars being banged, fire in the open street of the Meghalaya, internet ban for months and months and months, people get the threat to even go out of the home. So democratic KSU turning eventually into a rampant havoc of the anarchy. Why is it so again and again? That means only one thing that my brother, you and I can conclude today is that KSU might definitely be having good intention. That is why we are here to give you platform so that your voice could be heard by your government if it is unheard today. But at what expense? Why should the rule of law must be threatened? Why must innocent people suffer during that battle? Isn't it? Am I not correct? How do you take on this? Just tell me.
See, if
it is happening, Lambo. It's safe to say.
If any agitation or democratic movement not only organized in the state of Meghalaya, if just an example with regard to the opposing of the CAB and CAA.
Yes.
The whole Northeast.
Yes,
we have witnessed what happened in the state also.
Yes.
If you're comparing in the state of Meghalaya, it's totally, there's nothing happened in the state of
I condemn that too.
There's nothing happened in the state of Meghalaya.
I was here all the time.
If anything, if any kind of violent or incident, whenever we organize any program in a democratic way, we cannot take a response to who involved in that.
KSU has always come under the umbrella where it has seen as a very terror face, Even today, when we sit in interview like this, we need to manage our crew members. Out of 10, 5 Lensmen, our Lensmen, they step back saying, no, we don't want to interview KSU. They told, there is a probability that there can be assault to our property. They will recognize our identity. So I can't risk that. So this is the impression of the KSU that has gone in the entire Meghalaya. Why is it so? Time and again, KSU being caught in the act of crime, KSU being caught in the act of illegal, KSU being caught inciting people of terror, of threat. So is this not going? Is this not letting people to behave in this way towards KSU? Even Tadgata Roy said, I say taking full responsibility as ex-governor of Meghalaya, KSU needs to be banned just like HNLC. It is an anti-national terrorist organization threatening Indian citizens, some of whom are residents of Meghalaya since British time, like my family on both sides. Why is this terror of silence when it comes to KSU?
You can ask from the ex-governor Tagaroy, but we are not a terrorist group, we are not a military
Then
group.
why were my cameramen afraid to reach here today?
I don't know, since so many national news person from outside the state, so they came and...
Some dare to come, some don't dare to come.
They came and take us interview, there is nothing happened to them.
Today this team legal research and analysis, with this interview with the president of Khasi Student Union, Lambokstar Marngar, the message urgently that we intend to trigger is that while we battle for our rights, at the same time we must delicately be concerned for the duty that we infer towards others. Where there is a right, there is a duty. In a war like this, where fire is high-waged, where thunderstorms trembles down, no one's going to win in this battle. Even after the war is completed, all we have is the ruined kingdom. And ruined kingdom is not a kingdom, even if there is a king. So it is up to us, it is up to them to choose to do it in a way more democratic, to call for the rule of law, or to mesmerize in our own kingdom and rule on the others when we are in our own kingdom. Thank you so very much for joining me again, Lambokstar, and we hope to meet again next time when we feel that in the best interest of justice, in the best interest of rule of law to the indigenous community, and beyond that, in the interest of greater humanitarian reformation, we hope to meet and talk and things bring up that needs to be brought onto the surface.
Okay.
Thanks so very much for
Thank you so
joining.
much. Thank you so much.